Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Scotty P here. Panini Podcast going direct. I'm Scotty P, of course.
And I am Jeffrey H.
Jeffrey H. I like that. It's got a good ring to it.
One. You like that?
It's got a good ring to it. I like it. It's new. I know we've kind of gone through a few nicknames, a few different times.
Jazzy Jeff is not going to stay.
Yeah, I was like, no. That's, yeah. But then you blame me for Jazzy Jeff. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But anyway.
It's just, what do you do with Jeff? Jeffrey Draft? I mean, that's even worse.
Move
I'm sorry.
Move on it. But mention in the comments what you'd like me to call him next
I don't
time.
think they can
and it can be
comment.
anything you want. I don't care. I'll call that.
Okay.
But anyway, it's been a while since we've actually sat down, did an intro, and talked about product coming out. And it's been light. You know, there's been some things moving around on the calendar, but we've had some product recently.
So
some good stuff, some fun stuff.
Yeah. So what do you think about FOTL? Are you into first off the line stuff?
I mean, they're a good band, aren't they? Out of
Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, in Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, I love those guys, man. They say, yeah, boo.
The first off the line does sound like a nice indie band.
It does, man.
So this week we had a huge first off the line 2021 Contenders Football, which is one of our biggest products, Contenders Football. That is. We had the first off the line release for that. It sold out in 3 minutes, I believe.
3 minutes?
I didn't get any. Did you get any?
I didn't get any. But I heard Hobby's coming out next week.
Yes.
And that you can get.
That you can get?
Yep, I think so.
I'm going to try and get my hands on some. You know where I can find some of that?
Yep, I do. So maybe we'll open a box next week on the podcast.
I would like that.
All right.
I love Contenders Football. So
I do.
Also this week we had the release. This was today. Wednesday was the release of 2021-22 Prizm Premier League Soccer, FOTL, first off the line, not a band.
He's getting his days mixed up because he doesn't know when we're filming versus when the product is coming out. So that's like a little glimpse behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's exactly what was going through my head. So it was back on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we did first off the line Origins Basketball.
Okay.
Which is a really cool set.
It's Origins.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's Origins. And Hobby's coming out next week too, right?
Yeah, we got a bunch of hobby releases.
You mean like first off the line hits, and then a week later, Hobby.
You get a little hobby. Okay, so let's talk about hobby next week. So Monday, we have a packed week next week.
Packed. Finally.
Yes. So Monday, we have 2021 Mosaic Football White Sparkle packs. Everybody loves the white sparkle cards. And then Wednesday, we have the Contenders Football Hobby.
They sparkle.
It's kind of a whitish sparkle.
It is kind of white. It's kind of like snow.
It is a little bit. Yeah, I like that.
And speaking of white sparkles, I'll give you a little interesting nugget that you won't get anywhere else but right here. Is we actually created some white sparkle UFC packs that we're going to give away at the Mint Collective show later this month.
Holler. That sounds awesome.
So there you go. So it's a little white sparkle nugget.
Did you have anything to do with those packs?
No.
I feel like you may have been.
How did I know about it though?
Okay, so we also have, next week we have Prizm Premier League Hobby coming out. So that's going to be a big release. Your favorite soccer stars are in that. And then Thursday we have limited football.
Very generic description, by the way.
Obviously,
your
I'm not a soccer
favorite
guy.
soccer guys are in there.
They play soccer, the sport.
They play football.
I got dinged for saying football once, so I'm keeping it at soccer. So we have another first off line release on Thursday. It's limited football.
Limited football. See, and the good thing about mentioning next week's first off the line is you can still get those.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So check it. Limited football.
So what I like about limited first off the line is it's limited.
It's limited.
Limited.
It's limited. Hence the name, but that's all right.
Limited squared.
Limited.
And then Friday we have Origins Hobby. Basketball coming out.
Yeah, okay.
And Playbook Football Hobby. Okay, but this show is not all about release dates. We got an interview coming up with a very interesting gentleman. Scotty told me I like this guy. His name is David Sharp.
He's been on the podcast before, but never been in the hot seat The Hofer hot seat.
So I'm gonna grill him.
The Hofer hot seat.
Yeah,
See,
Can we get a graphic on screen?
It just rolls.
showing
Yeah,
what Hofer hot seat looks
Hofer
like?
hot seat. Pow, 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 pow. Like you need some like
Black cats going off.
Oh yeah. But you know what? We talked about new releases.
Yeah.
But you know what is new this week, or is Donruss Basketball?
Yes, indeed.
And we're gonna if you can sit through this amazing interview that's about to take place with David Sharp, you can see us opening a box of Donruss Basketball, which I'm hearing is smoking hot.
I'm calling the shot right now. We're gonna pull a killer laser card out of there. I'm gonna keep it very general, so I'm likely right, but I think
that's where the effects come in and lasers come out of my fingers.
Happy you said fingers. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a great break.
So hang in there, enjoy this episode. David Sharp's coming up.
In the hot seat. In the Hofer hot seat. Here we go. What's up, guys? I am here with somebody who I've really enjoyed working alongside, who I knew a little bit before I started at Panini, but now I get to see his face on a much more regular basis. This is David Sharp, one of our brand managers from Panini. How long have you been with Panini now?
I've been with Panini since 2012.
2012. Okay, so we're looking at 10 years.
Coming up actually next month.
No, what are we doing for your 10 year?
Coming to work.
We can do better than that, Sharp. 10 years?
It's like my birthday, man. It's just another day.
I feel that, yeah. Definitely after a certain age, you're like, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
How did you get started with Panini? What was your first position when you started here?
So I got hired on as customer service manager.
Okay.
I had quite a bit of customer service experience and management experience. I kind of did my due diligence. I was kind of already in the industry. I was volunteering with TriStar Productions, helping them with their autograph signings. I used to work in the clubhouse at the ballpark. So I've been around athletes and all that, for the better part of my life. And I actually met some of the guys at a national, Scott, Tracy, Joe, our old customer service manager, prior to coming over, and befriended them, and then ultimately ended up helping them at a Super Bowl event here in Dallas. And that was when I first met Jason, and then Jason was the one that brought me in as customer service manager.
No kidding.
So, yeah.
Man, so, dude, being customer service manager, how much patience does that require? You're a pretty laid-back patient dude. I mean,
well, it takes buckets and buckets of patience.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. You got to have thick skin. You try not to take things so personal. But I get it. I mean, I get both sides, right? I get the company side and I get the customer side of everything that is pro and con about customer service.
Well, it's obviously a very important department. Let me ask you this. I asked Scotty the same question. What is something we could tell the audience, the collectors that are watching, that would help them have more empathy for customer service, maybe in general, and then Panini customer service?
Sure. I think the biggest thing that I try to communicate is that the perception that we don't reply or don't answer the phones is very false. And I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying my regime was perfect, but the where it gets difficult is, just for example, we'll say Jeff calls in, and I answer the phone with Jeff,
and I'm yelling,
and I'm pulling up your account, and Jeff has now told me all of the cards he wants replaced, and I hang up that phone with you. Do I go start on Jeff's replacements, or do I take Matt's phone call who's coming in next?
Oh, yeah.
So if I take Matt's phone call next, now Jeff is waiting a little bit longer. And if I hang up the phone with Jeff and I go answer Chris's phone call, now it's a repeat pattern. So one of the things that I try to do and implement with my staff is I try to get them to kind of stagger their time. Maybe in the morning for the first 2 or 3 hours when the phone lines weren't as heavy, you're doing nothing but replacements so that you can get those cards out in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And then later on in the afternoon, because obviously everybody's not on the same time zone. So you start to get those calls from the West Coast and even as far as Hawaii. Later on in the day, you start answering those phone calls. The phones just start picking up more and more throughout the day.
Gotcha.
It's a slippery slope. It's a lot to manage, but if you stay on task, it definitely makes headway.
I appreciate the glimpse behind the curtain. Yeah, not an easy job, but a very important job nonetheless.
Sure.
So, not only do you work in the hobby, but you are a card collector, a fairly serious collector. So, talk to us about that.
It's fun, right? So,
of course
obviously, we're in the right place. Honestly, I'm actually a huge baseball collector.
Okay.
That's my number one sport. It's my favorite thing to collect.
That's your jam.
I'm a big Braves fan, so last year was obviously awesome for me. I hate the fact that I may not get a chance to defend it, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a lot of baseball is what I love. My son's favorite sport is baseball. He played since he was 4, and he's a diehard Cubs fan since he was, 12. One of those teams that he played for when he was growing up, and it's fun. When baseball starts, it's fun in our household.
How did you get started collecting?
So, funny story. My cousin, when I was about 10, he was going, I grew up in California.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I'll never forget, he went to one of the Nationals in Anaheim, which, they no longer go there. But he came home with troves and troves of promo cards and boxes and packs. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's so awesome. You go to the National, you get all these stuff for free. And, he's like, spend a little bit of money and get extra stuff. And so I was, he got us kind of hooked. He gave us our first baseball cards, me and my brothers. And one day we found out that my neighbor was a huge card collector. He had, several hundred, thousands, whatever. And back then, that was a lot.
That
right?
was.
And we actually used to take baseball cards from him and allow him to spray my sister. Again, 12 years old, but spray my sister with the water hose, who he had a crush on. So it was like, hey, Jacob, you want to go spray Carol with the hose? Give us 25 baseball cards and you can do it.
You were selling your poor sister down the road for some cards.
It's pretty bad.
That sounds like such an older brother thing.
Yeah, well, I was the youngest, but the other two were the older. So,
okay, gotcha.
So from there, it turned into ice cream truck, scrounging up 50 cents, loading up your penny roll or whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
Walk down to the corner store, buy packs of 91 Donruss Baseball and 91 Tops. It was fantastic.
I love that. Was 91 Donruss the beginning of Elite, or was that 92? When did do you remember the first Elite insert?
I think it was 92.
Okay, that kind of changed the game. That was the first numbered inserts that I remember.
Those cards are fantastic. They're to this day, you still don't see them very often. As a matter of fact, at the last Dallas card show, my buddy pointed out at Ken Griffey Jr., and I think it was BGS 9 or something, and I think the guy was asking like $1,000.
Yeah.
And it's numbered to 10,000 or something like that.
I collect those. I'm a Ripken collector. Is one of the guys I've PC'd forever, and I have his, I think, 92 Donruss. It's a pack-pulled autograph card.
Very nice.
I love that card. But
you and all 742 people that PC Cal Ripken.
Exactly. You got
to zig when they zag, buddy.
I know. Maybe I should go back to Billy Ripken.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a prized possession in your collection?
That's a tough one. There's several.
You don't have to name one, but maybe some of the favorites.
I've lucked out on some of the things that I've bought. Some of the stuff that I purchased, I've been ahead of the curve.
Okay.
But I'm also, prior to card collecting, I was actually, before I got really big into card collecting, I was actually a huge memorabilia guy.
Gotcha.
So I have some prized possessions in my memorabilia collection, like autograph Hank Aaron jersey with 755 inscription.
Oh, wow.
I'm a Colts fan, so I have a Johnny Unitas full-size helmet. That's pretty neat.
That's amazing.
Jordan jersey.
Is it leather or is it?
It is, actually.
Is it really?
No. It's the 2-bar.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Unitas was probably a little bit later than the leather helmets.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously never watched him play, but I respect it.
Of course, that's huge, man.
Yeah.
So you're a brand manager. What does that role entail?
So there's several of us. There's several brand managers across all the different sports and programs. Everybody kind of does it a little bit different. Like the football team is divided into 3 teams of 2. The basketball team kind of does more things as a collective effort. And then, all the other sports. So a brand manager, what I'm in charge of is actually the instant portion of the business.
Panini Instant. Okay.
The direct to consumer stuff. But I've also recently been assigned to WWE. So that was actually part of my request, and then part of the powers that be granting that request. I've been a big WWE fan since I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
Can you give us any sneak previews of anything we have to look forward to, or is it too early to talk about that?
It's a little too early to talk about it.
Okay, fair enough.
I know there's some pressing questions that I've already been asked about by some of my friends about certain mega superstars, and all I can say is we're doing everything in our power to try to get those in our product. But I can't promise anything.
This is why we call this the Hofer hot seat. Questions like that, really putting the screws to them.
Yeah. So, the daily ins and outs are, just creating product, creating checklists and different not designs, but concepts. What's an auto mem, what's just a mem, all those different things, and using different parts of anything and everything, jerseys, helmets, shorts, whatever we can find.
Did you come up with the Kaboom concept?
I did not.
Dang it.
No.
I'm going to find that person.
Yeah.
Do you know who it was?
I don't.
Okay.
I just know that the original artwork was done by an artist overseas.
Oh, okay.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Interesting fact. And I'm sorry to take us on that tangent.
No,
So,
you're fine.
okay, so your brand manager, Panini Instant is your baby. For anybody watching that isn't as familiar with Panini Instant, let's break it down for him.
So Panini Instant is available in several different sports.
Okay.
We offer it in NFL, NBA, UFC currently. During major soccer events, we'll offer it. So the upcoming World Cup, we'll have Instant World Cup.
Heck yeah.
And we will have Instant WWE. So if anybody was curious on whether or not that's coming, expect that after WrestleMania.
And so is it all event-based? Like, we have a Super Bowl, so we do Super Bowl Instant. Is it all?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Everything is event-based in the fact that an event has to happen in order to make the daily cards.
Okay.
So with the NFL and the NBA and the UFC and those season-long type sports, the idea is to capture the biggest and best moments, the record-breaking performances, and then just capture those and put them to a card along with the headline and maybe a little brief write-up of what happened. I think one of the best things about Instant is the photography. And what's so cool about the photography is, you'll open up a pack of hoops and it's generic or, of generic images where the guy's just dribbling the ball or whatnot. And then you have just, the card the other day where John Morant drops 52. Unfortunately, in that game, if you watched it, he hit a buzzer beater and he had a posterizing dunk. Unfortunately, there was no images available for either of those. So, but there was a very cool image where him and all of his teammates were kind of doing the 5-0 because he scored 50 points. And that was the image that I chose for that card, where it's him and 6 or 7 of his teammates all doing the 5-0 and celebrating. And so when you can capture those types of moments and put them into a card, it truly is instant in terms of what the moment was and what actually happened.
So are you up late watching games finish, trying to figure out, like, Ja looks like he's going to go for at least 50 this game? Let me follow this, and maybe this is a card we pump out tomorrow? Or how quick is that turnaround?
So I do watch a lot of sports.
Okay.
When you're able to tell somebody that you make baseball cards and watch sports for a living, it's pretty cool. But I rely a lot on social media, Instagram. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to sit there 12 hours a day and just watch every single game.
Yeah.
I generally just box score watch.
Okay.
Excuse me, and then look on Instagram or maybe Twitter to see if there were any major moments. And after the games are said and done, I'll go through all the box scores and find out who did what. If a rookie had like a career high or whatnot, or whatever, I can usually pick the moments from just doing that. And then the idea is to put the cards up the next day.
Wow.
So after the games end, we put them up the next day, and then on the event, or in the event that the game is on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday, all those cards go up on Monday.
No kidding.
Yep.
Gosh, so it really is fairly instant. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, outside of putting it up literally right after the event happened, you can't get much sooner than that.
So do you choose the image you want to use and then send that to a designer, have them mock something up, and it's...
Yeah, so the everything is almost automated.
Okay.
I do choose all the images that go into my cards. It's not like with the package program. I mean, obviously we have photo editors for that. Mine is just because it's so specific to the moment. That's why I prefer to go in and find that actual moment. And maybe the person building the card or pulling the image didn't see what happened. So maybe if they don't have any direction on what image to pull, then they may pull something like LeBron or Kevin Durant or Kyrie or somebody shooting a ball when it was supposed to be a crazy pass or something.
Right,
anything along
makes
those lines.
sense.
Then you just you go find the image yourself and say, hey, here it is. And they'll critique me too. Hey, this image doesn't work. It's blurry. It's so on and so forth, and we'll work together to find the right image.
Cool. And if you guys want to see any of the instant cards, they're on the website. Go on the store, look under Panini Instant, and there's a lot of different cool stuff to choose from. Speaking of, we recently did a collab with UFC for Instant Access Club. Now, this is the first time I've seen that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's fairly new, so it's actually the second inaugural year.
Okay.
We had some hiccups the first year and some
It happens.
some learning opportunities, but we had to start somewhere. And so we built this Instant Access Club, and the premise behind it was to offer exclusive content to collectors that purchase the club.
Okay.
And then we wanted to deliver that stuff throughout the course of the year, which allows us to build stuff, gain assets, autographs, and whatnot. And the big draw to it initially was this was the only place that you could get the first ever Prizm UFC white sparkle packs.
So
generally,
you had to be a member of the Access
right,
Club.
correct.
Got it.
So generally, with all the other sports, we would sell them as individual packs, and we still will do that. But with the UFC, we had an opportunity to try something. It was a new sport coming in. It was a smaller scale compared to what we did with NFL and NBA that had already been established for, since 2016. Mm-hmm. And so I took everything, I dissected it, broke it down, and said, okay, what can we give everybody where, there's a little bit coming every other month. That was the goal, was bi-monthly. And we offered some exclusive autographs. We offered the white sparkle packs. We offered some special sets. And, again, we had some hiccups towards the end, but I think everything worked out in the end. The ROI was just absolutely a no-brainer.
No kidding.
That's the plus side. I think that there was no question about the value that was delivered in that program. I mean, the membership itself was $500, and right off the bat, those white sparkle packs were selling for $350, $400 a pack.
Wow. Yeah.
So, of course, new year, we want to advance it. So we added some other things. Like this year, we've now added Optic white sparkle pack. So this would be the first year of Optic. And I was actually told in a previous video I mentioned Optic, and that was like an actual leak.
Oh, really?
I don't know what happened there. But,
we call those spoilers.
Okay, sure, spoiler. So, and then, of course, the big draw to the bigger packages, I believe, was the Kaboom packs.
Yeah.
So we're adding Kaboom to the two higher tier memberships.
Huge.
All three of those packs are exclusive to those two memberships. And then there's a fourth pack that's a select parallel. That'll be exclusive to those two higher tiers. The two higher tiers sold out relatively quick. We do still have some VIP packages available, and I think people are missing out on an opportunity, again, for a great ROI. Even though we raised the price, I think the value is still there, and there's plenty of money to be made, or fun to have if you decide to. I mean, imagine pulling a Patty Pimblett white sparkle rookie card. That's probably a pretty big card. It was my highest selling instant card last year for UFC.
That's huge.
And it wasn't even close.
Okay, so Panini Instant does something really cool for NFL Draft Night. Talk to us about that.
So we've been doing this the last couple of years. Same thing. It's kind of evolved over the last couple of years, where initially we used to do a whole mystery thing. We'd put up pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4. And it was crazy because you would see obviously the first 2 or 3, 4, 5 picks would sell immediately. But it was crazy because you just didn't know what you were going to get. You didn't know if you were going to get an offensive lineman or if you were going to get that, next desirable quarterback.
Right.
So it was actually pretty neat, but we've actually gone away from that. And the reason we've gone away from that is because we wanted to highlight more of the key guys. Mm-hmm. And so if we identify those key guys ahead of time and sell, for example, like the Chris Olave. If you go buy the Chris Olave, you know exactly what you're getting. Or an instance where somebody falls, or maybe because initially we did the first 32.
Okay.
And then we would do a couple of wild cards. Well, then we got to the point where we added all the way up to 15 wild cards because we just had to be able to cover everybody.
Yeah.
And then we finally graduated to just saying, okay, here's the top guys. We're going to make these guys, make them available, and then that's what you can purchase. So what'll happen is a couple of days ahead of the draft, you'll go on the website and you'll see the base template of the design.
Okay.
And whatever parallels are available.
Oh, there are parallels.
You got to act quick if you want parallels because those things fly. But yeah, there are parallels, so we put those up, and then you'll see the name and the description. So, for example, if you see like Matt Corral, okay, that's the Matt Corral. Okay, that's the Chris Olave. Okay, this, So Kenny Walker, whoever. I was having problems thinking of names. So what'll happen is you'll go in and you'll see that, and then during the draft, we'll actually take a picture. Hopefully everybody's at the draft this year and we get those great on-stage images. But we'll take those images from on stage and drop them into the template, update the image on the website, so now you can officially see which card you're getting and the images.
Love it.
And then unfortunately, guys that don't attend, they generally end up being a collegiate image because they just didn't attend the draft and there's nothing available.
Gosh, why wouldn't you just attend so your card is right?
Well, they don't invite everybody either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So if you could only collect one Panini product for the rest of your life, which product would it be and why?
I believe it's probably National Treasures.
Well, all right.
I think a common answer might be Prizm.
Yeah, it would be a common answer.
But I'm all about the patch autograph.
Okay.
And
You're
so,
an RPA guy.
yeah, I love jumbo patch. Even if it's not even autograph, it's a jumbo patch or whatever. I just love having that big piece of memorabilia on the card. And obviously National Treasures delivers that. And
they're incredible. My favorite thing about National Treasures is you don't feel like anything. There is no common card in there. It's like everything feels special. Yep. Everything feels like a hit. Everything's numbered. I don't know. I like the rare stuff too, so I can relate to that. I could probably go NT or Flawless as like the product I'd open the rest of my life. Can you imagine opening Flawless every day of your life for the rest of your life?
I think that'd be okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a good gig. So as a kid, did you ever think about yourself making a living in sports cards?
No. Just to be flat honest, no, I never thought of that. But when I moved here from California, when I was 14, and I found out that Donruss was in Arlington, and that's where I was living, I thought that was the coolest thing. And then also the fact that Beckett magazine was also here.
Right, yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, this might be an opportunity. And I never thought anything of it until about the time I was 20. And when I was 20 years old, I used to work at the ballpark, and Donruss was right down the street. And when I found that out, I was geeked. How do I get in that building?
Heck yeah.
And so I actually filled out an application, and I went down there, dropped off my resume, spoke to whoever, maybe the receptionist or something, and that was kind of the end of the conversation. Never got a call, never, nothing.
Oh.
And then I think it was probably 3 or 4 years later, I tried it again and went down there, dropped off my resume. I actually had a contact, I think this time, where I asked to tour the building, just kind of check it out or whatnot, and nothing came to fruition. And then finally, 2012 rolls around and the door was open.
And you meet Jay at an event, and that's how it happened.
That's what happened.
That's amazing, man. Good for you for being persistent.
I had a lot of inside contact already, which kind of, I'm sure, helped my cause. But I befriended a lot of these guys, and I think when I started on day one, I think it was something like 13 or 14 people in the building that I already knew.
No kidding.
Yeah, so
you did it right.
I wasn't the average guy, new guy coming in and not knowing anybody.
Let that be a lesson to you. If there's a company you really want to work on, do your research, learn about the people there, like make some contacts, maybe not just in HR, but elsewhere. They can pay off at some point in time.
Yeah, actually, just to piggyback on that, when I used to interview and hire in customer service, one of the questions I would ask the potential employee was, "What do you know about our company?" And you'd be amazed at how many people had no clue what we did.
All right. Well, we make sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, okay. So this is a question I ask anyone who will give me time that's been a Panini for a while. Okay. This is a hunt very close to my heart. Where do you think the 2018 Prizm Black Luka Doncic is today? Would you say A, it's locked up in a private collection somewhere? B, it's still sitting in an unopened case in a warehouse, wherever? Or C, it's lost and will never be found?
That's a good question.
What do you think? What is your theory? Wait, do you own it?
No.
Okay.
But my first thought was that is it so dear to your heart that if it ever appeared, would you buy it?
I don't have that sort of capital, I'm afraid, but I would definitely make a run. I would probably put out a lowball offer.
Yeah.
Well, what they would consider a lowball offer.
To say that you bid on it, or
Listen,
say that you offered.
$150 is yours.
Yes.
In cash.
So my next question is, what if I told you I knew where it was?
Well, I think this would be an episode unto itself.
Well, I don't.
Okay. Gosh, what a tease.
I got nothing for you.
Man, I thought you were
I
blow
honestly,
this case out of the water.
I honestly hope that it's out there in somebody's collection. I hope that, there's so many like grails that are out there that people
I know.
Like
Never surfaced.
There's the Evan Longoria Superfractor was one that everybody talked about for a long time. And, the scary thought is, think about the kids that open the product that just whatever.
I almost made that an option.
That might have thrown it out.
Somebody could have pulled it and not known that was a thing, not seen the one of one somewhere on the card, and not thought, oh, yeah, who's this guy?
It's crazy. I mean, the conspiracy theorists are out there. I honestly hope that it's in somebody's collection and that it's out there, but I mean, who knows? There's so much unopened, untapped product out there that it very well may be sitting in somebody's box and somebody's just sitting on a 7-figure card and they don't have a clue that they are.
I think I would be most scared to think it is in a collection and they're unaware that it's in there and like have already gone through the pack and just put it aside. I hope my wish is that it's in an unopened product and will be hit someday. My fear is that it is in a private collection buried and will never see the light of day until that person decides to part ways with their collection.
Yeah, there's so many cards that I've heard, big time whales talk about, like, oh, this guy has this and that you'll never see it, and it's crazy. But just to imagine where that card is at, along with several others. Yeah. I mean, the Zion Logo Man took a while to surface.
It did.
I'll tell you what. The one thing, if it is in an unopened box somewhere, I hope it's in mine. No, I hope it's caught on camera when it's opened.
Same here.
That's what I hope.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like seeing those videos where those people just go absolutely nuts.
I know.
And they know they hit a big time card.
They're special, and it's hard to hide that enthusiasm when you hit a card of that like caliber. I mean, I've never hit anything of that caliber.
Same.
Okay, so overall, generally speaking, where do you see the hobby heading? Is everything going digital? Where do you think things are going? Let's just say 5 years down the road. We don't have to go too far.
I think as long as there's roots, which obviously there are, I think there's always going to be a home for the physical card. I don't know where this whole digital thing is going. I don't follow it a whole lot outside of some of the stuff we do internally, and even then, I just don't have time to kind of follow it.
Right.
It's kind of neat to see the younger generation dive into it, and even the older generation. I have plenty of friends that are collectors that are now going all in on NFTs. My son, as a matter of fact, asked me the other day, he's like, "Dad, what can you teach me about NFTs?" And I was
kidding.
"Nothing." so
Taught your friends.
Actually, and that's what I told him. I said, "There's a couple guys at work that are familiar, and they can talk to you about it and explain to you what it is." I don't think it's going away by any means. I mean, with all these athletes and celebrities and musical people, I mean, just everybody is behind it. So I don't think it's going away. But the industry as a whole, I think, is stronger than ever. I think there's a lot of things coming down the pipe to be excited about. As collectors, are all of our lives, we've adapted.
Yeah,
and that's what we do, is we adapt. You know, it's swim or sink, and I think at the end of the day, I think most people are going to swim and take it on.
That's why there's a lot of people that entered the hobby over the past 3 or 4 years, and one of the only pieces of advice I can impart on these people is that this hobby is long, and I've been collecting the majority of my life. It has always fluctuated. There's always been up and down. There's always been really crazy runs of a certain product or of all the products like we've seen recently. But one thing is for sure is that there are going to be ups and downs. That's just the way this hobby works. And so, people get spooked very easily if you haven't been around this long. You see any sort of movement one way or the other. And that is advice I would say is hang in there. This is the way this works. And if it's down today, it could easily be up tomorrow, and vice versa. So.
Yeah, and the truth is, there is something for everybody.
Yeah.
And not everything is for everybody.
That's true.
So there's you just gotta find your niche and
you
stick to it.
You can't collect everything.
You can.
There's just no way. That's
cannot.
a stressful idea, anyways.
I got a lot of guys that buy instant.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. So
what daily repeats?
Anything coming up with instant that we have to look forward to?
There's. I mean, again, the UFC VIP Instant Access Club is still available. We're getting ready to do the WWE instant stuff that again will launch after WrestleMania. Okay. We have draft stuff coming up for the NFL, and then obviously the NBA is still going strong, and you'll see several more autograph sets, autograph memorabilia sets, and I think there might be a couple of sets that might catch a little bit of eyes.
Wow. There you have it. David Sharp, thank you for your time, brother. David was awesome. I'm happy you joined me.
Yeah, he was in this Hofer hot seat right here that I'm now in.
He was.
And I can still feel it warm. That's how hot this hot seat was.
So, speaking of hot, we have a hot product right here.
Donruss Basketball.
Yes, 2021.
Did I take the words out of your mouth?
You did. Donruss Basketball Hobby. This just recently came out. Some of you are probably just now finding it on shelves. Man, it's got.
And now let me ask you this question. This is an interesting, because you have to correct me here.
Okay.
Is this the second or third product? Because we had Hoops, and then we have Elite, and then we have Donruss. So did Elite come first, or did Donruss come first? I don't know. It's a good question.
I think Elite came first. Yeah.
So this is technically the third product of the year.
You're right. Yeah.
I just came up with that just now. I didn't even read the calendar.
So I'm going to go ahead and start opening this. Oh, you want to use the proper?
Well, we can use it.
Yeah,
we got
let's use that. Let's use it.
I'll handle this part.
So I love Donruss Basketball. I mean, I love all the regular flagship Donruss products because I'm a real big fan of the lasers, hence me calling out a laser. But I grew up with Donruss. What's not to like? You used to work for Donruss.
I did work for Donruss. So, here we go. Look at this. 30 cards per pack. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of cards.
A lot of bang for your buck.
That's thick pack. not just a thin pack.
Yeah, with
And
3
then
C's.
there's 10 packs per box. So you know what that means?
300
That means
cards?
I get to open 7 and you get to open 8.
Oh, okay.
That makes 10.
This guy's. You should be in the accounting
So
department with that sort of-
Jalen Green here is on the packaging. Did you see him in the dunk contest? He did great. So here's the
I beg
base
to
cards.
differ.
Here's the base cards. You got Trae Young. He did great in the All-Star game. He's
did do great.
He can throw it down.
He actually threw some awesome passes to our boy Ja, who was throwing it down.
Ja.
Those two would be fun to see just play on the same team permanently.
Steph Curry base card. Ooh. So you can kind of see the base cards they're very clean. I love the design.
All right, so noteworthy, the Next Day Auto is back in Donruss this year. So we all love the Next Day Autos.
Here we go.
It's coming through.
Well, I want to show, here's one of the rated rookies.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
very cool. A lot of these images are from the RPS.
so Jonathan Kuminga is one of the rookies. This is a numbered press pass card of his. I think it's, let me check, 199.
Press proof.
I'm sorry, press proof, correct. There's quite a few different numbered subsets in this. In Net Marvels, one of our favorite insert sets, this is the purple parallel.
I was about to say, you got a parallel
So-
because I pulled Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah,
You
so
pulled-
show that one first. Show that one
Okay,
first.
so
What
this is the base version.
is it? Let me see, because there is.
Yeah.
So, and this is something
wait,
I put in the blog. There's a version that says press proof in white text on the bottom left-hand corner. It's not actually press proof.
Oh,
that was an error.
That one is.
It is, but it's an error. So that's the base there, but there's an SP version of that where press proof is in black and there's gold foil on the Net Marvels, and then there's the purple parallel, purple border, which is the SSP version of that. But you can go on the blog. I have picture examples of both. But that was a little error that got included, so it's kind of fun. Ooh, who's that?
I pulled your boy Luka.
Yeah.
So this is a Craftsman insert, and then Retro Series, Isaiah Thomas.
Nice. I like the retro series.
And last but not least, because you get a lot of inserts in these because of the pack, Crunch Time, KD. So very cool. And then I did pull a numbered card, which you were just talking about, which is numbered out of 149. So a lot of value in that pack. Right?
There is.
Oh, look, did you show that one?
Which one?
You got a parallel of the rookie though.
Yep.
Did you say it
Yep.
was numbered?
Yeah. I did.
All right, pack 2. Remember, they don't add up to 10.
Oh, Scotty Barnes rated rookie.
Ooh, doing
Scotty
well.
Barnes having a
Scotty
great
Barnes
season.
Doing great.
So who do you think's the front runner for rookie of the year? Would you say Cade Cunningham, Scotty
Evan
Barnes?
Mobley.
Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I mean, he's the front runner. I mean, obviously, who is
Another
the
Net
front
Marvels.
runner? Who's the front runner with regards to like hobby is always different than
That's a good point.
who might
That's a great
win
point.
the rookie of the year. So here's Jalen Suggs. But I was just before we came in here, believe it or not, looking at the NBA rookie ladder, and Mobley is number 1 again he's been number 1 for like several weeks now.
I got a Luka crunch time. So all the inserts, you can tell at the end of the package, usually the SP versions of the inserts, they'll have press proof on them, or you can tell just by the different colored borders. Something to be cognizant of when you're going through the packs.
So you go Ant-Man,
Yep. Nice.
Net Marvels. I love the Net Marvels.
I do too. Especially the purple ones. Uh-oh. May have hit my first laser. Your laser is fantastic.
It is. I perfected the laser.
You know, I want to apologize to all of our podcast listeners during the break portion. I can only imagine how bored you guys are.
Nah.
But Scott is really good at describing things visually.
Speaking of rookie of the year, potentially, Evan Mobley.
Nice.
Those are all from the RPS. We were lucky to have the rookie photo shoot this year. We did. It's Crunch Time, Donovan Mitchell.
We got back-to-back Josh Giddeys. Giddy Up.
He
Got
makes
the,
me
the
giddy.
press proof.
He makes me giddy.
And then the regular rated rookie. That's pretty cool. And
here's
I love that I got those back
There's
to
a
back.
parallel a red parallel. That's out of 99. So you're seeing lots of value.
Okay. So we got the Shaq Net Marvels.
Shaq Diesel.
Remember Shaq had a great rap career at one point in time. Maybe great is not the way to describe it, but he had a rap career at one point in time.
No, he did.
How dare you? So Royce O'Neal, blue laser out of 49. The laser that's my favorite insert that we do. It's up there. I love Kaboom. So this is an insert. I'm sorry, this is a parallel. But y'all know.
This guy is on fire. A lot of people are loving this guy right now, DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls. He's pictured
He's
as
an
a
MVP,
Spur, jersey card.
Caliber.
This one is not numbered though. I was looking for LeBron James crunch time. Magic. I love the old. Like I said, I've been quoted many a time saying, I love older players on new technology.
Yep. I like that quote. I might use that sometime.
Now this one
Play it
here,
off as if
you've
it's
been
mine.
pointing it out, this one's kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna show this on Craftsman.
Oh,
And if you look real close underneath them, it does say press proof on it. But it was kind of hard to tell now. Ba-boom!
yep. I got another laser because I've been talking about them constantly. Jeremiah Robinson Earl out of 49, red laser auto. Okay. Last pack.
Cade
There we go.
Cunningham. Rated rookie. That one's gonna be.
We have some Anthony Edwards for your buddy.
He's gonna have he's a good player man, as they say.
Good player, man.
There you go, retro. Did you show retro Shaq yet, or you showed Marvel?
Net Marvels, yeah.
Love those retros.
Yeah, I do too. Looks very
Crunch time.
video
Ooh,
gaming.
I haven't seen this one yet. Production line.
Sweet.
Production line. Dame Dollar, as the kids call him. And last but not least, out of 49, Clint Capella. You can see all those parallels. A lot of value, a lot of numbered cards, a lot of insert cards.
Okay, we got another Net Marvels with Durant on it. This again is the base Net Marvel.
And you know what I think is marvelous? This product.
It
marvels me.
I love Donruss, man. I had so much fun.
And I kind of brushed over it earlier, but yes, I did work for Donruss. But we're kind of Donruss now.
You're right.
I mean, so
Donruss on steroids.
you kind of work for Donruss too.
I like the sound of that.
So I mean, you know,
I've
got a 20-year head start on you. Who's bragging?
My personal take on Donruss Basketball, the product this year, is that there's a ton of value. I want to say you can get them for a fair price. I don't know if we want to talk actual price point online right now, but
what I'd like to talk
they're
about,
fairly priced.
What I'd like to talk about for 1 second is just the difference in the piles, like how nice and neat your stacks are and the inserts are and everything like that. And then there's mine.
I mean, you could go in our office and it would look very similar. But, it's just, I have problems. And you don't care as much about your piles.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem.
It's not. Nah.
Did you show that blue laser?
I did.
That's nice. Well, thank you, Scotty. That was fun, man.
That was fun, man. I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on the Hope for Hot Seat.
Thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
You guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.